So this is the type of story that you and I could just sit here and talk about.
This could be a whole show.
For the rest of the hour that I'm here.
We wouldn't cover anything fantasy.
We could just talk about this, and it would probably be fairly entertaining. At least to us, it would be. We would be entertaining ourselves. There's a lot of buzz, and there has been for a while. I've been hearing like Bill Simmons say he was going to go to the Jets for like 3 months or something like that.
This isn't new buzz.
This is not new, but it has intensified. You would agree.
Yes.
Like there's stories have been coming out. There's some fairly, big ESPN names that are saying it's like a done deal. Then I've seen a couple headlines that kind of backtrack it a little bit, but it seems like he's done in Green Bay. It seems like the Jets is probably going to be his landing spot. I got a lot of thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on it? What's going on? What do you think? What's going on?
Let's just get the cat out of the bag. You guys know I absolutely hate Aaron Rodgers. For him to say in January, I'm not going to hold the Packers hostage. I understand we're still in January. March is free agency. I just need some time, like I said, to get the emotion out and figure out what's best. From then, I'm not holding anyone hostage. We've seen a darkness for
He's holding 2 teams hostage
now got
right
2
now.
franchises
Maybe some other teams on the peripheral might be being held hostage too. And
Exactly.
He went on a fucking dark retreat.
A dark retreat.
What clarity did that bring him?
Clearly nothing. And now he's saying to the Jets, yeah, I might like to play for you, but you have to sign Randall Cobb. You have to sign Alan Lazard.
Randall Cobb.
I want OBJ now too. What if they go out and sign all these guys?
You got to sign Randall Cobb?
Yeah, Randall Cobb, franchise altering wide receiver here at this point. But
That's
he's
like Giannis having his brothers on the Bucks.
Yeah, seriously. He's listing out all these players. What if he just decides, you know what? I don't feel like coming to you, actually. I'm just going to retire after you go dump all this money to go get Randall, the fucking corpse Cobb. Like, what are we doing here? So I'm not holding franchises hostage. You're now holding not only the Packers hostage, you're holding the Jets hostage. He's not even that good. Like it's
a bad move for the Jets, man. I'm telling you. Like now, granted,
a franchise ruiner. They could be competitive for a year or two, but like
potentially it could be. Like they could be competitive for a year or two. I do not envision a scenario where these guys make the Super Bowl or even a significant playoff run. I could be wrong. Who knows? I've been wrong before, but to me, first of all, he's going to be insanely expensive. Insanely expensive. And you're gonna. He wasn't good last year. And let's not pretend that he was good last year. He wasn't.
A diva before he's even arrived, too. Exactly. Like, it's one thing if he's coming off, again, back-to-back MVPs a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He is legit.
It's true.
And so let's just pretend he's there. Because I could just go, as you said, we could do a whole
podcast. Let's pretend he's MVP caliber Rodgers, which is a big if. But let's pretend that for the sake of it.
Let's say they're getting Aaron Rodgers. Let's say this is the Aaron Rodgers we've seen the last few years, and they're getting him. We know he can facilitate monster. We're just talking about fantasy at this point because, again, if I put emotions into this, I will just spew the rest of the podcast on how much of a buffoon and asshole this guy is. I never have been able to.
If this guy's MVP caliber Aaron Rodgers, we know how it's going to go. He's going to lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Exactly.
But that has nothing to do with fantasy, so let's go.
So what's going to happen fantasy if Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers and he just lands with the Jets? Well, one is Garrett Wilson is going to go to the moon. He's already going to go to the moon because it's not going to be Zach Wilson throwing him the rock.
Good point.
This is insane. Garrett Wilson as a rookie averaged 19.27 points per game in games without Zach Wilson, 8.37 with Zach Wilson. He would have been on pace for 1,556 yards and 11 touchdowns on 105 catches with any quarterback other than Zach Wilson. So Joe Flacco, Mike White, no world beaters there. Aaron Rodgers would be a significant upgrade over anyone Garrett Wilson
sure have to think so.
And he already was showing he could be a top 7 fantasy wide receiver with garbage thrown to him as a rookie adjusting to the league. He was my number 1 rookie in last year's class. He showed every reason why. Every layer of the field is open with this guy. He tacks the ball. He does everything. Garrett Wilson is an absolute stud. And Aaron Rodgers, as much as I hate him, the man can facilitate some monster wide receiver numbers. Look no further than Davante Adams, who broke fantasy for 2 seasons in a row just a couple years ago in this Nathaniel Hackett-led offense. I hate Nathaniel Hackett. Trust me, the complete and utter bozo. But he does know how to coordinate and work with Aaron Rodgers at least. And he knows how to just pound and pepper a wide receiver 1 going deep. So I think Garrett Wilson, that's really the takeaway here. I wouldn't have that much interest in Aaron Rodgers. Even in his MVP years, he wasn't that insane of a fantasy quarterback. He was top 12-ish guy.
Good. I mean,
but Garrett Wilson, That is the takeaway. And even Elijah Moore, because we've seen Rodgers sustain multiple wide receivers. And I do think Elijah Moore is still a great talent with anybody other than Zach Wilson. Almost 14 points per game compared to 5.46 points per game with Zach Wilson. He was on pace for 1,030 yards and 8 touchdowns, 78 catches across his first 2 years with anyone other than Zach Wilson. I mean, he had a 22.1% target share and 17.7 fantasy points per game, Elijah Moore, as a rookie over his final 7 games once Zach Wilson was out.
Yep.
So he also showed wide receiver 1 potential there too. So both of those guys, Elijah Moore going significantly later, pick 120-ish right now. You got to just factor in a quarterback upgrade and love him at that price. But Garrett Wilson, he's a second rounder right now in fantasy drafts. And honestly, if Aaron Rodgers is the guy there, second round is more than fair. I'd look at this guy at that first, second turn, honestly, as that next type of Justin Jefferson. Already looked amazing as a rookie, then takes that next level to elite and utter stardom. I mean, Aaron Rodgers would facilitate that because I do think Garrett Wilson is that good.
I agree with you on the talent level of Wilson. And obviously in fantasy, you got to take some chances. And maybe this is a good chance to take. You're talking about more.
Absolutely.
I'm skeptical on Rodgers. I get that he's going to be an upgrade, but I'm not sure I'm going to want any stock in this guy. I mean, I don't want any stock in him, but I mean, I'm just like, I'm extremely wary of anything touching this guy at this point. And I get that even the corpse of Aaron Rodgers is better than Zach Wilson.
Oh, not even close.
I get it. All right, fair enough. We will definitely follow up on this Rodgers story.
Yeah, we will see.
I assure you that the Wolf and the Truth have
there.
more to say on this. We might just do an Aaron Rodgers special whenever he lands somewhere. Just go 20 minutes. He would get off on that so much.
Let's come like 10 beers deep and then just talk about Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure that will be very civil. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.